She said, I find it very hard to put Abdullah in childcare. I've got 7 kids, and Abdullah was the first one who's coming to the childcare. So because I'm sitting at home and I look after them, I find it very hard to put Abdullah in the childcare, and I feel about myself guilty to put him in childcare because no one of them has been in the childcare. Even when he's starting, in the first 2 months, I try to come early to put him in childcare, and I go home again. So I find it very hard for me, for Abdullah to be in childcare.
It was the first time she had actually left her children at a service, so she sort of felt really guilty about leaving him with us. We knew how important it was going to be to get as much information from them as we could. We had an interpreter come in and meet with Mum and myself, and we got as much information about Abdullah and about his home life and home environment, so we could support him here in the centre.
Abdullah has a very complex medical history. He's a little boy who was born very premature. He also had lots of complications as a result of that, but ultimately he's ended up with a diagnosis of cerebral palsy with a hemiplegia on his left side, which means he doesn't use that left side very well at all. He also has quite a significant visual impairment. Overall, he has a developmental delay in all areas of his development. He also struggles with some physical abilities, as he's not able to use that left side very well. As a result of those physical disabilities, a lot of his skills are impaired in terms of independence, those sorts of self-care skills, toileting, those sorts of things as well.
The thing I like in here, the best thing, when Abdullah is coming, they all coming to him and give him a cuddle and kiss and welcome Abdullah, or nice to see you again. Even me and even him, he like to come in here because he see all the teachers like this. Welcome Abdullah, how are you? How is today? I feel like I leave him in here in another family. Like I find that this teacher or this childcare center another family to Abdullah. If I'm not feel welcome and safe in here, I'm not gonna leave him in any childcare.
After Abdullah started to settle in, we got the casual support worker or the casual worker to ring Mum and just tap in and make sure things were okay, make sure that if any information needed to be passed on, or make sure that Mum was clear with what was happening here at the centre.
When I'm coming here, all the teachers told me about what he's doing, what he's eating, how he's asleep, how he's been playing, he happy, what he done today, everything they tell me every day.
I wrote, probably observations you could say, but I wrote everything that he'd done that day in an exercise book that went home in his bag, so that his family could see every day exactly what he did. The mood that he was in, he wasn't very happy. He didn't want to sit on, or do this, but we got through that and he was fine. And so, or he was sad, or he had a fantastic day. He did this, he actually walked on his own. So any achievements or anything that he accomplished here every day, when I finished, I would write.
He is always happy when he's coming back home. He's saying about what the teacher's name, the kid's name, what he had today, with who he had the lunch or the afternoon tea. He's very happy, but only the things I told him, be careful because he started hitting other kids. Thanks God he is now stop hitting.
He's progressed probably a bit slower than you would on a normal sort of level, but he's walking independently. Like, he's independent. He's walking independently. He's got a mind of his own. He likes to do what he wants to do.
Abdullah, he likes to play with the cars, and more like to play with the taxi, like a small car, like a taxi. Yes. His dad, he's a driver of the taxi, and he is very, excited if he have appointment to go to the hospital, and he very excited to go and jump in that taxi with his dad.
Cars, transport, anything on wheels, Doesn't have to, it can be a made car out of Mobilo with wheels on the side. Thinking that, yeah, he can wheel across the ground, so he sees that effect, and it's like an instant effect of a toy. Hannah would definitely be a special friend. She's so caring and kind towards him, and helps him to the bathroom to wash his hands, and she'll physically put her hands over his hands under the water and rub. Getting his bag, taking him to get his bag at the end of the day. If he loses his taxi, they all run around and look for his taxi. And yeah, it's just really nice that they just all include him. At the beginning of the year, we found that when I would call the children over for group time, they'd all sort of come running over, and if he was sitting on the floor, they'd come up to him so quickly, and because he can't see properly out of his left eye, that would startle him. And sometimes he would act out and he would put his hand up to push them away or hit. And we realised, at first we didn't realise why it was happening, and we took a step back and we thought about it, and we thought, okay, this is happening because he's being startled. So we introduced the purple chair. He sits on that purple chair, there's still children right beside him and around him, but he has his own little space, his personal space, that he feels comfortable in and safe in.
He's more responsive. He's actually now coming out with his own sentences, because for a long time he would copy what I would say. He would copy it. What anybody would say, if you asked a question, he'd ask the question back. I was outside on this particular day, and I was heading off to sort of deal with someone else that was a little bit upset in the playground. I said to him, I'm just going over to see so-and-so. I said, come across if you want to. So I let him follow me. And I turned around, he goes, Carol. He goes, Carol. And I've turned around, I said, what's up? He goes, Carol. So I've gone across and I said, what's happened? And he said, Carol, gonna fall. And he had his foot, like he was walking through the playground, but we've got the big tyres. He had one foot in the tyre, which is the leg with the brace, that he doesn't have the full mobility. And the other leg was on the other side of the tyre, and he's hanging onto the pole. And I said, well, you're a bit stuck there. And he said, gonna fall. And I said, you're not gonna fall. I said, lift your leg. So that was the first time, and that just, that really got to me. That was the first time he actually came out with a sentence that he wasn't copying, like it was something he'd said, how he felt. And it was just amazing. Yeah, it was really good.
The support more recently has been around trying to coordinate services. It's changed over time. Obviously, initially it was helping the family to understand the diagnosis and what was available to the family to help Abdullah. But more recently it's been about coordinating services. She has many appointments at the Children's Hospital. She often doesn't know who she's going to see, but she knows she has an appointment. So I've been trying to coordinate that and make sure that those people involved at Children's Services, both at childcare and kinder, know who is involved, and that the medical staff also know who's involved.
At the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we filled out an application for funding through KISS, and Abdullah received the whole 15 hours funding. So we've employed additional assistant to cover that funding. But in this centre, we don't hire an additional person and have that additional person shadow him and follow him around everywhere. That person is just here within the room, supporting the other co-educators and just supporting all the children. It's just about including him in everything that we do, not making anything different. So if we have a group time, he's having group time with us. We're having lunch, he's having lunch. Washing our hands in the bathroom, he's washing that. So it's just about including him in the entire program throughout the whole day. So there were a few challenges, but we've seemed to have gotten through all of them at the moment, yeah.
I feel like whatever he wants, whatever he misses, he can find it in here, and the teacher help him to get it in here. So I find the same, like what I'm doing at home, they're doing in here as well.
So I think for Abdullah to be at childcare where he can be around his peers, he can learn from his peers. Many of his siblings are older, so they're great, they're supportive, they help him out, but to be around children his age at that sort of developmental level where they can be great role models for him has been excellent.
Yeah, and now he's sort of quite affectionate. Like he'll come in, he'll give you a hug, and I can be walking around, he'll come and, you know, wrap the hands around the leg, and I know he's happy that he's quite settled and he's got his friend, and you know, he feels like he belongs and he's going to have fun till his mum comes to pick him up. That's nice too, that's rewarding.
I encourage any mum have a child same like Abdullah's position to come to the childcare and put him in childcare, to be social and build himself and learn a lot from the teacher kids and while they're playing in the environment as well. And everybody around, they love him, and I'm very happy about that. Would like to say thank you for all the staff and everybody who is working with Abdullah in here. I feel like Abdullah always welcome, and I feel they are waiting for Abdullah to come in here and give him a cuddle and kisses.